It is estimated that around 68% of Americans are deficient in magnesium, which is absolutely crazy just because of how important magnesium is not just for your body, but for your brain. Poor brain health will lead to a whole array of symptoms, from depression to anxiety to focus, poor energy levels to poor sleep, and so on. But it can also make you more susceptible to neuroinflammatory conditions as you age, such as MS, Parkinson's, and Alzheimer's. One of the main reasons why we are so deficient in magnesium in the West is really just due to the poor diet and the fact that we just have less nutritious food. So if you are deficient in magnesium, one of the best and most effective ways of increasing it is through supplementing. But one of the difficulties about finding a supplement is that there are a whole range of different types of magnesium, so I know how you can get so lost in which type is going to be best for what you're trying to achieve. And so in this video, I want to focus on brain health, and therefore I want to show you how and why Magtein Magnesium L Threonate is the #1 and the best type of magnesium for your brain. I'm going to show you how it differs from other forms and 4 huge ways in which it can significantly impact your brain health and for the specific issues that you're dealing with. And make sure you stick to the end to find out where you can find Magtein. Let's begin. Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Dr. Stephen. I'm a chiropractor in the UK, and in this video we're going to be talking about magnesium. It is such an important topic, and I know it is a supplement that has definitely got a lot of popularity in the last kind of decade, and it's mainly because of the effectiveness that it has when you take it on certain symptoms. And one of the reasons why I think it is so effective is just because so many of us are actually deficient. Now, magnesium has over 300 different functions in the bodies, but most of them are in the nervous system. So how does magnesium actually work in the nervous system? Well, there are many ways and many aspects in which it can affect your brain. Firstly, it has an important role in maintaining the proper connections between your nerves. And this is what we call the synapses, and it essentially ensures that you don't get an overstimulation or an understimulation of the nerves in your brain, so it kind of can create this calming effect. One of the reasons why migraines occur is when the neurons in your brain are too close to threshold to firing, so they fire too easily, which creates this dominoes effect right across your cortex. One of the roles that magnesium has is to ensure the stability of your neurons, and so if you do suffer with migraines, a deficiency in magnesium can be part of the reason for this. It can also prevent too much cortisol being released. Cortisol is your stress hormone, and so therefore magnesium has a role in reducing the stress in your body. And then it also preserves the blood-brain barrier. This is essentially a bridge between your body and your brain to stop the harmful substances getting to your brain, but also to ensure that substances that are good for your brain actually gets there, like magnesium. So we want magnesium to actually cross that barrier effectively. And finally, magnesium can also help reduce inflammation in the brain, and therefore can reduce the chances that you would develop some of the neuroinflammatory conditions that I mentioned earlier, such as MS, Parkinson's, and Alzheimer's. So magnesium is shown in rat studies to prevent this synaptic loss in brains, and thus can reduce the early signs of Alzheimer's. This association between Alzheimer's and magnesium has been studied in rats, specifically looking at Magtein, where they did see an association between increased magnesium levels in the brain and a protective effect over the synapses, which they have linked to decreasing chances of getting Alzheimer's. And magnesium L Threonate has been shown to increase magnesium levels in the brain much more than other forms. This has been studied, and one of the reasons for this is because of its ability to be able to cross the blood-brain barrier. This is something that I mentioned earlier. This is basically the bridge, and essentially no substance can get into your brain without going through this barrier. And if the supplement that you're taking can't get through this effectively, then you can be supplementing with magnesium but not actually increase your levels in the brain effectively. So what actually is Magtein Magnesium L Threonate? This is essentially a combination of L-theanic acid, which is a broken down version of ascorbic acid, which is found in vitamin C, and magnesium. And it turns out that when we combine these two chemicals together and put them in a supplement form, this is where it has its unique advantage of being able to more effectively cross that blood-brain barrier. And this is why they have seen higher levels of magnesium in those that are taking this type of magnesium. So here are 4 ways in which this type of magnesium can affect and impact your brain health more specifically. So number 1, it can improve cognition. There are lots of studies that have showed improved memory by increasing the quantity and quality of those connections that we spoke about earlier in the brain. Rats that were treated with Magtein showed a higher density of neurons in the hippocampus, which is an area of the brain that is responsible for memory. A study in 2022 compared Magtein with a starch placebo, and the participants were essentially assigned to just one of these groups at random. Before they took this supplement, the clinical memory test, which is a common memory test that's performed to assess someone's memory, was performed on all of the participants way before they even took the supplements. After taking and getting this baseline, they then took the supplement for 30 days. So you had those taking Magtein and you had those that were taking a placebo. After 30 days, they redid this test and they found a significant improvement in the group that were taking the Magtein compared to those that were taking the placebo. And they concluded that Magtein compared to the placebo had a better chance of increasing your memory and your cognition, which is amazing just from a supplement. Number 2, magnesium can help improve your sleep. There has been a systematic review that showed an association between low levels of magnesium. So those that have low levels are more likely to develop worse sleep. And many people, this is what I find most common in practice, is that those that I do give magnesium or recommend magnesium will come back to say that they have slept the best that they've slept in a long time. And for this reason, a lot of people will actually take it a couple of hours before going to bed to try and maximize this effect. So if you're wondering when the best time to take it is, to take it before bed can help improve your sleep. Number 3, it can help improve symptoms of depression. There has been an association between low magnesium levels and depression, which was found by examining population-based surveys in the US. And because of the effect that magnesium has on the brain, supplementing yourself would certainly be a good place to start. And taking this particular type of magnesium, Magtein Magnesium L Threonate, would be my recommended number 1, just because of how it impacts the brain most effectively. And then number 4 is it has a massive role in migraines. This is probably the number 1 supplement for those that are suffering with migraines, and this is because of the instability of those neurons that I mentioned earlier and the role that magnesium can have in stabilizing those neurons. By taking Magtein, because it gets into the brain more effectively, this is going to be your number 1 choice if you're suffering with migraines. They have found associations with those that suffer with migraines tend to have a lot less levels of magnesium in their brain. So it's certainly something, if you're suffering with migraines, to make sure that you're getting the right amount of levels to give yourself the best chance. Now, Magtein comes in a whole variety of different forms, from gummies to capsules, powders, drinks, etc. If you're wanting to find Magtein, all you need to do is just make sure you find this logo here, to make sure that this logo is on the bottle. There are a variety of different brands that will provide Magtein. If you want to know one place where you can find it, just search it on Amazon. Provided they've got this logo here, then you can be sure that you're going to get the proper version. Now, like most supplements, you do want to make sure that you're taking it for a good amount of time to just see whether you're going to get an effect from it. I would recommend that you're taking it for at least 3 months to be able to then see a change in your symptoms. If you do see a change, it would suggest that you were deficient in magnesium, and therefore to take this long term would be recommended to be able to then maintain the results that you would have achieved at that point. The recommended amount that you should take, it is roughly around 300 milligrams for women and 400 milligrams for men. I would recommend just take the recommended amount that it says on the whatever bottle that you buy, And if you ever get any symptoms, and one of the most common symptoms if you're taking a little bit too much is diarrhea. If you are getting that, then just reduce it slightly until you find an amount that works well for you. But I would start with a recommended amount. Now, the question is, can you get this from food? Well, yes, you can get magnesium from food, but unfortunately, you can't get L Threonate from food. This is really only found in a supplement form. And absolutely, you want to be eating foods that are high in magnesium so you can get it as much as you can naturally. But if you are deficient, one of the most effective ways is just to take this supplement. You're going to increase your levels much quicker. So if any of this resonated with you, if you get any of the symptoms that I spoke about, then go and get yourself some Magtein and just give it a go, see how it feels with your body. Majority of people do find a good improvement with taking this supplement. If you want to learn more about the benefits of magnesium, then I can highly suggest to check out this video here that I did around a year ago. If you're not yet subscribed to this channel, then please do if you like this type of content, and I'll either see you on that video or see you on my next one. Have a great rest of your day.